them, I can do that as well. But we also have another title. This, two more words for the title Lord. Now we have the correct use for the word Lord being used two different ways. Okay, you can see it's capitalized here this many times, which is a lot, and very few this way. So most of the time, we're talking about Jesus as Lord. Okay, well, no, we're not. Not in this one here. This is Genesis, so it's not the text I was thinking. I thought I was still working with Psalms here. But what this title does is a title for our Creator. Okay, see how his name is here? A Creator for YV. Our Lord YV. Because there is no O in the Hebrew text, why did they put it in the English text? So the thing here is get rid of all the 350 times the letter O is in the Bible. Get rid of it. You got your Bible on the word processor. Just a quick few buttons, and you can go through all of them and get rid of them. What I would say here is we have this word here, adne, and then add on. So the thing here is it's referring to here as the word Lord as like an ownership or like a master. And so in truth, if we go back to the time of Abraham, Abraham had many servants, okay? Here he's still being called Abram, okay? He had many servants. When you was with Lot, we found that their two herds were very large, and the men were fighting. So just in those keeping the herds fought, well, they had to live someplace. And when a male had many people working for him, he was known as a lord, as a provider over you and guiding you to provide for you. When I do a search for Lord, using the Hebrew verses and trying to figure out which way uh, it's being used correctly, yes, it would be like a provider. So then you would have that, like Abraham would be a Lord over us. Okay, yeah, this one's Psalm, this one's Genesis. That's what's confusing me here. But the thing here is now you understand that we're starting to get to titles of Lord again, or Lord, the true definition for the meaning Lord being used correctly, or hopefully correctly, this many times. All right. Now, here we have the title Most High, okay? And that's this word here. Now, Shaddai, this one here is using it as Almighty, a title Almighty, okay? So now we're learning more than just the title Lord and God and Creator. We now know that there is Almighty as a title. I did not do the title search for Father or Maker, but you could say that he is a title as well there. Now here, it's when these two words are used together, they do this to the word to be able to write Most High. So the thing here is when I realized going through what could these words actually mean, it would be the highest, not Most High. And that way, highest would be referring to our Creator, okay? And this is in Psalm, yeah, this is Psalm 78, and you can't sing 78 because it's talking about them in the desert, and that text is not something you can sing. But the object here is that I would have used it as the highest, against the highest in the desert, okay? Not Most High. Most High, I don't see that word being true that way. But as far as Almighty, I couldn't think of a better description when I go through the verses here, the 48 verses. Okay. That's the same one there. That's the same one there. Okay. And now let me get to Jesus here. Now, this is going to surprise quite a few people here, what I'm going to get into. And that is to say that where is Jesus found earliest in the text? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you right now. It is in Genesis 17, verse 6, and you have to use Genesis 18, verse 18, and you have to use Genesis 22, 18 to understand these verses together. Now, because we're talking about a king or kings that are going to be, let's see, where is it? Through your seed, okay? Down here, through your seed. Our Creator is going to make a covenant at this time with Abraham, and he is Abraham now, called Abram, and he's changed his name to Abraham. And at that time, he is starting a promise, an everlasting promise. It's not really the word covenant. Covenant for me does not work. For the example that he is going to make a promise to Isaac, he's going to make a promise to Jacob, who becomes Israel, he's going to make a promise to creating a nation, and then kings are going to come from you, and then through these kings, David is finally promised that through his son's seed, and that's Psalms, I don't have that. I got to write that down. I need Psalm 17 or Psalm 1, 2 to put up as an example. That Nathan is telling David about his son's son is going to have a kingdom in heaven, and it's going to be a kingdom in heaven forever. The word covenant doesn't work because it has to be promises, because when it gets to David's promise, changes everything. I mean everything from before and after David is told. When people ask you, what is the reason why people go to heaven? This is a promise to David that there's going to be a son going to have a kingdom in heaven, and people will able to enter into heaven. Now, that isn't really known how it's done by people today, is through the forgiveness of sin. That's why our Creator created the tent and house for meeting with him to atone for your sin. Your sin is not obeying one of the 12 commandments. The 12 commandments, you needed to bring a sin offering. I'm using these as the Hebrew definition for what a sin is, not the secular dictionary that people saying, and they try to tell you in colleges and everybody out there running around after a while when they hear all this stuff that there was an original sin. No, no such word to be put together at that time. Sin did not even begin to get into the language until our Creator talked to Moses in the Sinai. Okay, up until then, you were just you were either righteous to our Creator or you were unrighteous to our Creator, according to the Hebrews. Okay, they didn't have 900,000 words for one meaning. But let me get on here. Now it says that make nations of you. Well, it's not really nations. It is nation. This S doesn't belong here. Shall come forth from you. From you. Here's this promise through your seed. Okay. Again. So now here's what's getting to why I can use all these sentences together. all the nations of the earth. And it's really all the kingdoms of earth. The word nation used correctly and truthfully, meaning the nation of Israel, means the 12 tribes becoming one nation. It's very much, the United States is based off that, off the Bible, considering that each state has a Supreme Court into it, and then the highest laws are then sent to the Supreme Court for the whole country. Each of them would have a decision made here by priests and scribes that were teaching people in the synagogues. They started off in refuge cities, and that's where if somebody murdered or killed somebody, that they would run to this refuge city, and they would try to figure out whether that person was done, if it was an accident, because if it was an accident, then they would take him back and tell the people that, yes, we figured it out. He did not kill him willingly or murder him willingly, but it was by accident. Now he has to take a sin offering to our Creator to be forgiven, finally, by our Creator. Now, there's a lot to be said about this nation, the word nation being as the meaning of a group of tribes or a group of states like today. Now, when we go into using just the Hebrew text and then forget everything else out there knowing about history, if you're going to become one who has a belief that our Creator exists and He created us, stop listening to everything, and the text that I'm revealing will guide you to say, I can go do these word searches just like him and try to figure out how I know that these words are different meaning, and could put them correct and really correct the text. Because the words nation here should mean kingdoms. Babylon had, in the Hebrew text, Daniel says that they were divided into provinces, okay, or regions, okay. When you get into the birth of Jesus, before the three regions were made one, there was three. East of the Jordan River was named something with an I in your book, which is now Jordan. And then it's kind of like the remaining area that used to be the old nation of Israel and the nation of Judah. So what you have here is the word nation being used incorrectly or mistakenly. And it says earth will be blessed. Now, this here with a question mark is wrong, because when we come down here, we can read it again. All the nations of the earth shall be blessed because you have obeyed my voice. Okay? When you study any of the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, it talks about people at that time were arguing whether Jesus is there and he's their king, or who is your leader. They would say, well, Abraham was our father, and we follow Abraham to get to heaven. Here, this is talking about all the earth shall, again, twice. Here it's earth here. So here it is in the very beginning when Abraham, and the Israelis would know how important these words are. They would be waiting for this covenant to change and tell them, or his promises would change over time or be added to for them. When you see the 12 commandments, our Creator actually, before he had the tent for meeting made, he appeared to the people again in the cloud, that like he was guiding them from out of Egypt, he appeared to them and he spoke from the cloud, and he made an agreement of, you obey these and I will make this promise with you to be my people. Okay. Later, the text, he will refer to his people, meaning his Holy One, meaning Jesus. And from your faith or when your belief goes to a trust, you know that this is now, these words plainly tell us why other people in other kingdoms or anyone on earth who obey our Creator will enter into heaven. So important for a few words to be said in only a little bit of text here and a little bit of text there. Now let's talk about Jesus here. Here is that Psalms 149, and here is the word Yah. When I click on the word Lord here, now I know that I showed you that before, these 48 words, and I was going to get to it. Well, here it is. This is the proof how we can define what this Lord and why this is wrong, being all capitalized, because it is Yah here and it is YV here. Okay, so the thing here is it says praise Yah, and I would say and sing to YV a new song. The promise David was given is of a king, so they named him Yah. They knew who he was. Maybe this is his title, is Yah, who he is to come as our Holy One, or who has been promised through David. Maybe this is a title, and I've been saying this wrong for 30 years now. But the object here is that he and his praise in the congregation. It means to sing praise to Yah in our congregation, because this is what he's going to do. We're actually going to be able to go to heaven. I mean, this was absolutely new news, and it was great news. And it says here, rejoice in their king, okay? A lot of these words are wrong here. Zion is wrong. I could use Zion and correct the rest of the text, but I don't want to get into that too much. But I'm just trying to say, praise his name right here. That's why I said name. But now that I'm realizing it's, I said it could have been used as a title. Now I have to go back. Yes, I've been correct for 30 years. Praise his name, okay? So we're praising Yah, okay? Praise his name with dance. Now it comes to the word salvation. All in this one psalm, it gives another description of him. He's the one that's going to allow us into heaven. We have to have a new name, new word in our language, and it's salvation and Savior. Okay, we have another title for Yah, a Savior. Okay, not Messiah, but Savior. He's going to allow us to enter into his kingdom in heaven. Now, if that doesn't blow you away a little bit, let's talk about more text about Jesus. Now, remember, Jesus, according to YV, is going to come through Abraham's seed, through his son's seed, through David's son's seed. So those that are saying there's a Trinity, I have to tell you that they're making our Creator a liar. And they'll tell you quickly, they'll try to tell me that, well, that's the old covenant and a new covenant. I said, no, that's not true either, because Jesus, and I show them many verses about Jesus saying he is to obey our Creator. He came to fulfill the laws. There's statutes, and I think there's only 2 statutes. One is circumcision, and the other is to celebrate the passing over of our Creator not killing their firstborn sons. Those are statutes that absolutely must to obey our Creator. And then there are the 12 commandments, which are the contract with people to say that if these are what makes you obedient to our Creator and makes you righteous. Once you become righteous, you can be, then you can say, I have honor for our Creator because I'm righteous to our Creator. People don't speak of their honor correctly today. They just don't use that word correctly. But here, this is very unique because there are 7 spirits. Now, people, and I kind of call them virtues. I haven't figured out a real good word here for saying that it's the spirit of wisdom. Now, I understand what they were talking about because a spirit, when you come over here and see all the definitions, it can be breath. Well, when he would be speaking about certain, say, an understanding of something or the wisdom of something or guiding somebody for counsel or giving them strength, these would have been the breaths. There have been 7 distinctive breaths that were to describe who Jesus is. And even they've got capital letter. They should have made these letters red here. But the object is there's the Spirit of the Lord will rest on him. And I'm going to talk about baptism in just a minute. And then there is this wisdom, understanding, counsel, strength, knowledge, and the fear of YV. Okay. No, yeah, it was in here, YV. Okay. And he delighted in the fear of being fearful of YV. Once you understand, the closer you get to heaven and realizing that you can really go to heaven, you are in fear of our Creator that you're going to disobey him. You really are. I mean, it's a different type of fear, and it's not the secular fear. It is a fear of our Creator that you went from a belief to a full trust that he exists and I can go to heaven, and I I know that I better obey as much as I can for our Creator, obey our Creator, to honor and respect him. Now, when it says that the Spirit of the Lord will rest on him, this is very important because this is talking about when he was baptized. That when he went and rose above the water when he was baptized, that the heavens opened and the Spirit from our Lord, and you see it here, Spirit not of, but from YV, will rest upon him. Let me give you a quick visual so you have a visual to go with this. The New American Standard is the only Bible that really, really tells you the truth. There's another Bible out there, but they copied the exact words from the New American Standard. And that is describing Mount Zion in the far north. And those words come from Psalms 148, verse 2. Mount Zion is in the far north. That means it's not on earth. It's above the heaven. And at night, we see the North Star. And as the star's motion rotate, it becomes a mountain. They use it as a mount because it has got to have some flat area, because above there is where our Creator lives in heaven. Okay? The star's motion, second heaven. Where the birds fly, third heaven. Now you can understand that verse in 1 Corinthians, I think. Now that you have the knowledge of the heavens, now you know that when the heavens open, now you know where to turn to look in the sky, or when you're visualizing this, that the people turned and all looked as the heavens opened. So it was this special prophecy from Isaiah that they fulfilled with baptism of Jesus. There's a lot of arguments over why Jesus was baptized, but one here is that's never taught is this right here, where the Spirit from YV will rest upon him. When I say spirit, I'm saying breath. Just like when it gets cold and you breathe and you can see your breath as it comes out. This to them, without knowing that we have a voice box, the tongue created the word and it's in our breath that it comes out. Okay. That's science at that time. Okay. Everybody knew that's what happened. The tongue moved and in the spirit was, or breath was breath or words that came out that you heard or see or became a spirit to them. Don't use a secular dictionary for anything. Now, the other text if you put all the events that happened with John, there is a verse that talks about the Spirit descended like a dove, and you see these people not understanding the truth of what I just said is this is a fog that's coming. But the object is the writer needed to be very descriptive of the word rest on him. Okay? Rest on him. Now, a dove, mourning pigeon is what most people would know it by. That bird, when it's landing on a flat surface or the flat ground or flat land, that the wings are open and it kind of swoops down and it just comes down. And what's going to happen just before it lands, it goes straight up and then comes down. It flaps its wings closed and then it comes right down. That's what it means by rest upon him. So now you have a visualization of the baptism. There is no one that teaches like what I'm telling you the truth, okay? So from here on out, anybody has learned this from me. I have been sent by our Creator to teach you the true truths of our Creator, okay? Now, the whole video, I've got the wrong label on the top. I wish I would have noticed that earlier, but it's only like 2 hours into it. I got to erase the first 29 minutes, but well, if I talk for a little bit longer, let's see what what other thing can I put up there besides that one? Yeah, I can turn this one on. Yeah, okay, that's better. Oh man, I should have. Yeah, failure. So I guess I'll teach this several different times. Now that you know that this is resting on Jesus, even Isaiah speaks of him as it says virgin birth in here, and this making our Creator a liar. We know Isaiah wouldn't be a liar. I've shown you and I've given you those verses that says that our Creator promised Abraham. And the people at that time said, we follow Abraham. So the thing here is they were all expecting a king from David's time, especially. You've seen how they even give him a name at that time. So the thing here is it's maybe about, 700 years to Jesus from David. But the thing here is in Isaiah's words, we have a description of Jesus and how he's going to suffer. And right here, there's a lot of things that I have underlined that are about Jesus suffering. Now, what I don't have opened, and I should have, and I didn't know I was going to go this long. I was only going to try to make it like an hour. I guess truly that's what I am doing. Let me pull this over here and open it up over here. So, where's do hide? Oh, it popped up over here. Okay, I was wondering where it went. Let me look here. Okay. Let me open this up. This is how many different times that they're talking about the Holy One of Israel, using the Holy One of Israel, or the word my son here is definitely about Jesus. That isn't what I wanted to show you. In Jesus' name, Yah is actually listed 55 times. Maybe I did put it here and I just haven't got it cleaned up. Oh, I have the Holy One here, but that isn't where it's at. Where's wise at? Right here. Because there is a verse in the Bible or in the Hebrew text that tells us our Creator is one. Sorry, I have to read all these here because I really want to show that text right now. And if you got a comment, put it in the comment section. I'm hoping that what I have open here is the chat board. So, like I said, it works. If you write it, I can see it here on the screen. I don't see it there. So it's got to be in these 40 here. Don't tell me it's not here. Is it in the list of like 200 of my documents? Okay. Well, I guess that's my disadvantage of not being quite professionally ready here. Because my Holy One here, I have to go through and see how many times actually. I have actually put all the text together in our Creator's Hidden Formats. So let me get rid of that. And put this back up. Let me see what images for streaming. Okay, there's where it might be. Put in here. No. But I did say that there's these three areas at Jesus's time. Now, it goes down farther, Israel here. And this is not called the Jordan. I've changed that word so everybody understands when they read the text I've put together about Jesus. And I did actually, let me do a real quick, let you in on what's going on with me. Our Creator showed me a hidden format within the 4 books. I can show you the hidden formats in, what is it, Psalms. So where would I had put those images? Or Psalms. Okay. Psalm 78. Here's where it all began way long a time ago, 28 years ago, I believe. These 2 verses are, some of the text is out of order. Which ones and how far does it go away from? First thing I did was copied 78 up to 21 here. Didn't need the rest of the text just to find out what's going on, what's wrong here. And what I did was I first put it into the text like this, and then I kept chopping these down to mean smaller and smaller verses or sentences. And they started looking like this when I divided up the sentence. These still are the beginning sentences. But what happens is that you'll notice that they start getting rhythmic. Listen, my people, to my instruction. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth. Okay? And that word of needs to be from. Okay? So I will open my mouth in a parable and utter dark sayings of old. Now, what happened here when I took this text here and started looking at it more, I noticed that these verses became small paragraphs. Okay? These are small paragraphs. And you can see that 4, 4, 4, 4. I made it 4 by saying the word behold, and because of the strength of that word. And then said, okay, there's 4 and there's 4. But there's probably a verse missing here, or a small sentence missing here, and a small sentence missing here. But now I have the text that needs to be grouped together. And a lot of times under these hidden formats, and these aren't our Creator's hidden formats, these are under my formats that I can go through, and you can start seeing the first writer's writing and how they wrote it. And you got to understand that they had these 2, a lot of times, make a paragraph, okay? And if you do Genesis, you'll be absolutely shocked when you do it correctly. But the final text ends up like this. So go ahead and take a screenshot of that. And as you read it, you can see visually that I even divided up that first sentence to become more rhythmic when you read it. Listen, my people, to my instruction. Incline your ears to the words from my mouth. I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings from old, which we have heard and known, for our forefathers have told us. Beautiful writing. This is the first writer's formats, those that truly walked with our Creator when He brought them out of the Sinai. This writer here was there at that time. He's the one that wrote this. So when they say it was sung by David, no way. The words, when you see them broke down like this, that some of this text has to be from that writer at this time, and then you'll see this knowledge of the writer. This comes over here, and this is still talking about who was rebelling against our Creator in the desert. Now, the thing here is it can't be Ephraim, okay? Plain and simple. I broke the text down too much to just let that go when I say that. But this all started because I wanted to find out where those words go with these words and put them together correctly. Now it reads exactly the way it was supposed to be written. So that's what happened. Somebody, like I told people at work when I first started showing them this, they were like, you're going way out of bounds here for us, Mike. You tried to create your own Bible. Actually, they called me a heretic. They didn't even talk to me for like 2 months. Okay. I worked with people for 15 to 20 years. And I worked with a group of, I'd say, 1,500 people. And we could all walk around the building. And I worked in what's known as in the Buick Engineering, which was the largest automobile engineering center at that time. We had a lot of highly educated people, probably, I'd say 1,400 engineers. We had draftsmen. We had 300 skilled tradesmen. And even our secretaries that they hired, a lot of them were they literally come out of college. I mean, it's something to work in engineering and to meet people with, like, I think I knew 5 people that all had IQs over 160. Very smart people. But when I started showing them this, it was like, you're a heretic. Until one of the guys come down on second shift. I'll tell you that story later, but I was working on a psalm. Really, many of them wanted, because I was just at the beginning of what I'm finding here. After I showed them this one here, I started working on psalms, and I give them one psalm that I think it had like 5 pages to, written like this, and only one stream down. So put it all together, maybe 3 pages. But when he read it, he come back unglued. He was yelling to me, screaming my name. I was inside the car working, putting things together, and he didn't see me there. I had the hood open, so you can't really see in there. And I yelled to him, I'd be right out, got out, and he's yelling, "Do you know what you did?" And I looked at him. I says, "Yeah, I've been reading the same thing. That's what I found. That's really something when you read it that way." He says, "It scares the hell out of me." And I says, "That's what it's supposed to do." I says, when you read it in first person, it's not like our Creator's out of reach. And that's what he explained to me. He says, everything I be reading about our Creator is out of reach. He's inside me when I'm reading that. You have to read my Psalm 109, I think it is, or 119, one of those two. It's a really long one. And read it rhythmically and in this format. And he was only working a couple hours overtime. When he went back, or when he showed up to work the next day, he didn't do anything. He didn't work. He just went around showing people and having them open up their Bible. He says, I checked at home. These words, he was erasing some of them, but the words are in order. The words are in order. He's just cleaned out the ones that make us confused to read, kind of like what that say, and you have to go back and forth, and you don't get the experience that you see here. But the most exciting part is that there are hidden formats, and because this is a 4-verse group, there is a 3-verse group format. Okay. And so the thing here is I have to say formats. In fact, there's more when I start showing you Psalms. And maybe that's what I will do in the next video tomorrow. live stream, is show you all the different Psalms, because uh, to prove that there's formats. And in fact, there's some that's really actually highly skilled writers, highly skilled. And to think that these writings took place at least 2,500 years ago, the skill of writing by these men is stunning to me, and to reveal them. But there is a more stunning format, and that's our Creator's hidden format, because I knew that when I done the Old Testament, I didn't use any of the books that have crap in them, that literally don't define anything important. When people first started reading Proverbs, they think that is so special. Well, let me tell you something. When you grow up from your youth, like I did, our Creator made me see Him, I think, at the age of 5 or 6. My parents told me I had a nightmare. Kind of like, what? Because my mother took us to church every Sunday. And no. I told him, I want to come home, Creator. So the thing here is, I knew who I was talking about. He let me know, come right out of my mouth, what's going on when I was talking to him the first time. Then at 16, happened again, and I says, I know yes, this, because when you have a true vision, you remember every moment of it. Okay, every tiny thing about it. Now, the thing I want to say about that is that when I say our Creator made me see Him, and to have all the knowledge that He gave me, putting just this text together, He gave me my last vision when I was 36, 30, no, maybe 32 or 4. And that was, He made me a witness that Jesus exists. Okay. Now, why is that important when I say that? Um, Oops, it wasn't that. And this was that one. When Jesus says there's a helper that's going to uh, come and explain everything, this is it. Let me see what this other one is. Okay, I like that one. This one I'll get rid of. I really haven't cleaned this up yet, but and make sure I see the screen, what's going on. Okay, it looks good. I need to make it larger. Whoops, that needs to be brought down. There. Now, when I'm doing, when I edit the text, okay, and you can see I've combined them. You're going to see verse numbers here and where they go back and forth and change, because this text is in 2 different places in John. So you have 14 here, and down you'll think it's 16. John's not that long. Maybe it's in 15. But the object here is I gave respect to Jesus by coloring all His text and all His words in red. And then whenever our Creator is mentioned, I give Him honor and respect by using all capital letters together. So you'll notice I'm not using proper English. So forget that. The text was before English, so I don't have to be proper English. That's just not truthful. I'm trying to find the first writer's writings, okay? And then the description of this helper that's mentioned, I give him another color. That's going to be me. I'm going to try to tell you that this, when you clean up the words helper, there's things that the helper has to have done. One, well, it's telling he will be sent, okay, and bring for their remembrance the words I have said, okay, and he'll teach them everything, okay. And it's not two words at one. It's not one word at that time. Two words. That's okay. This is the only text then, right here in this group. Somewhere in here. And right here, they will not observe me or know me. And that's pretty much true. I've been doing this for 28 years now, and you still don't know that there's these hidden formats in the Bible. No, I guess I'm wrong at that. I shouldn't have. I erred in my speech. Because first you have to, Jesus teaches us that you can't really know about him until you obey our Father, and then our Father will send you to know about Jesus. So I guess I'm using those words as to define that I first has to know our Creator. I know he exists, and then our Creator showed me that Jesus exists and existed on earth. That's when I started looking for all the truthful verses of my knowledge of, say, I think it took me 5 years to go through and just find in the 24 books or trying to think how many books I used, but I'm going to just say I used 24 of them from the Hebrew side, and then used the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John from the Greek side of the text. And what I have been doing and what I have been teaching from time to time is, let me see, no, 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 let's see. I know I got them someplace here. Okay, let me pull up Mark. Now, this is my study and showing you what I did to go through and correct every verse in every word. There are videos out there, and there has to be, I think, like 17 just for Mark or Matthew. Matthew's pretty long, so I can say 17. And putting and I go verse by verse, showing you why I'm correcting all these words here to change it. Cry by the wilderness is wrong. We know it was the Jordan River where John was heralding people. So the thing there is we have to be truthful about every sentence and correct it. I have never been to a college to see how they teach uh, people the text. If they go through and they say, okay, well, this group of text, it's written this way, but really, what does it mean? I don't know how they're doing that. But the object is when it cleans up, gets rid of all the blue text I'm removing, this is what I end up with as a truthful words. Okay. And I've gone over and over and over and really cleaned them up. In fact, I'm kind of working on them still. It's right here. If I clicked there on the desktop, that would be where I would show you. What happens is that after I clean up the text, and let me see here. That's Matthew. No, where is? Let's see. I'm in Mark. Where is Mark? Well, let me show you Luke because I know. Luke is here, but you can see I started grouping the words together, okay, or what words need to be grouped together. And this mark rate means here that I'm going to take this piece and stick that text someplace else, okay? Yeah, I got a sneaky way here. Why didn't I think of that? Not thinking as fast as you guys are out there. You're probably yelling at me, hey, just do this. Well, how come it's not there? What's not there? Right here. Here's what happens when you spend 15 hours a day for probably, let's say, 2 years on this text. And combining all the truthful verses I can find from the text and then put them together as the truths of Jesus' teaching. Okay? These are my notes to know what's going on, and I'm building up a PDF that it'll have a table of contents and be linked, so when it gets to be a PDF, you jump back and forth. As you can see, I got places for notes, just like what I've been telling you, go here, go there, go back and forth. I'm not sure if I'm going to leave those as notes for everybody, because what I found is that people that want to come to our Creator open up the Bible and they don't know it, but they're actually asking our Creator to teach them about Him. And they learn there's a lot of sugar in the text that tell us. All of a sudden, my video, yeah, it seems like it's getting dark, so it's kind of green up. So what I'm saying is that if I put notes in here and start telling everybody what they should think about when they're reading these, I think I'm cheating them, really, of them trying to study the text and then them being able to make their own notes for them to more learn and learn and learn. But I'm really helping them out by respecting our Creator every time these words are here. And then it's respect to Him, and then Jesus anytime about Jesus, and then when it's our Creator's explained his suffering, and they gave him, because Christ is a title about one who was to suffer. Peter knew the story from Isaiah, and Jesus was just telling them that he was going to suffer. And that's why Jesus answers him that you learn that from our Father, because nobody had ever given me a title like that. So it's very special what Peter did. But how I do this is I make the first part of it our Creator, and then to know that it's Jesus. I didn't do that here, color it yet, because that's just part of the editing that I have to do. Still to keep doing the text here. But you can see that I go from I had to combine right here, this verse from Mark with this verse from Matthew. In my videos, I will show the groups that I started with, and then how I combined them and got rid of the other words, and used the best truthful verses to get the most complete story of Jesus. And as I combine these together and then put all those pieces in order, example, right up here at the beginning, you probably, you read this in John, which is in the last book, but it's where it talks about our Creator here. But down here in John, a few of our scribes believed he is him, and the Jews that were our priests, and Jews were the unbelievers. But it comes through here, and it talks about how they compiled the text together. Okay, right here. Over in Luke, there were many recording the accounts of Jesus at the time. And what I did was I tried to put them in the best order I could, as if this was one writer writing the story. The text itself tells me where it needs to be placed in this story of Jesus's 1 year of existence, or 1 year of preaching, the favorable year of our Lord, to make himself known he is their king. All was done in 1 year, and that is from one Passover to the next Passover when he was crucified. When you read this text, and on the website, Jesus Prophecy, JesusProphecy.com, you can go and get our Creator's Hidden Formats. And I have that as a PDF, and I think I just updated the website so it only shows the formats that I found and the way they're grouped, because I had to make it as full sentences, paragraphs, so nobody can steal the copyrights from me, like what I did with the New American Standard Bible. So actually, I think I own each of the 4 books, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I think I own them 7 different ways as to how to group them. So really locking down, nobody can recopy or steal from my work, or the work our Creator gave to me to do. But you'll see the text as it goes through here. These are all my notes that I've trying to add in, that I'm still editing, that you're seeing here. Now, when there's text like this, I've got a note for a map. I'll be putting a map in here. And if you read our Creator's Hidden Formats, if you can get through, just don't read the beginning, just go right straight down to Jesus's teaching. And it should take you about an hour and a half to read that. If you can do that without crying or weeping, I will be shocked. I would be shocked. It is so vivid. It is so descriptive. It is telling you the true story that you've always wanted to know, in order of what happened and how people become surprised, what happened when he did this. It actually tells us the actual true order of the disciples, where he was at when he picked them up, and stuff like that. You'll find that he got all his disciples were from around the Lake Galilee, not the Sea of Galilee. It's a freshwater lake. Quit lying to yourself. Quit listening to the secular dictionary. Quit listening to these guys that wrote the text wrong or edited it. Like I said, they were happy that they were to change our Creator's calendar, so you can tell they didn't care about writing anything else in order. They were writing it for their God, not for you to have a belief that goes to a trust of our Creator. But that's how vivid the text comes. It tells the order of the disciples, and then actually the last 8 days of Jesus in Jerusalem. And the text itself, like I said, will have verses in them when I grouped them together like this that said, this has to go here. Like all the stories of John are put together. The introducing of the area that that I was showing here. Where is it? Maybe it's already up and I got to bring it back up. Nope, it took off. Here, it's these 3 areas that's being talked, and this will be the map at that time. It's this area, and this area. And like I said, I changed it from some word that started with an I can never remember that. And then Judah was down here. And these 3 regions become one after or closer to the birth of Jesus. It's really close in this time because it starts out this way. And then it becomes all one. No, it doesn't. It becomes 3 from 1. That's what it is. King Herod, which truthfully, that's what the text says, but it's a mistake because you have Rome had an emperor, okay? Gave him the title emperor. I would use the word king. Some people say, well, they also like to use the word Caesar. It doesn't matter. Who's ever ruling in Rome would not allow another kingdom inside itself to be able to be said, this is the kingdom of Herod, okay? Because they will explain it that it's still Roman rule because they took over Babylon's, or not Babylon, the Persian kingdom, and took it over, and Rome came into existence. So, truthfully, the word king can't be here. It would have been a servant from that guy, but they used the word king. So, I think you've heard a lot of me referring to how bad the text is. But other than that, I think I'm going to call this video done. It's about 2 hours long. And I will get better at this. And when I actually know I have people interacting with me, because I haven't got Discord yet to go where people join a special message board that's there to relate to just me and all those that want to follow and learn from me would be in this group, and it's a board called Discord, and I get to name it, and that way you know what it is. You get in there, and in it, from what I'm trying to do right now, is that when people get in there, there's a way for me to have an earbud in my ear that they can talk to me, and then I'll be able to make a switch for both of us to be talking at the same time, and you hear questions and answers go back and forth. It might take a year for that to happen, but I just thought I'd let you know that this is the beginning of me trying to do streaming and teaching at the same time, to make sure that uh, you get told the truth. Yeah, I don't see anything. I wanted to keep this to the titles and name of Jesus and go a little bit farther. Next time, I'm hoping to have the Bible program going, the computer behind me hooked up, that to be there and working. So I guess I'm going to try to find how many switches does it take to shut this off. So I'm going to attempt it right now. Talk to you later.